righty.
Alrighty.
It's been a while,
But
but
you know
we're
what?
here and we're stronger for it.
You know what? We
Yeah,
had to prepare for the 2023 recap.
we did because the 2023. This is the beginning.
What'd you say?
This is the beginning of 2023.
It is. Yes, and that's why we took so long, is to
Yeah,
prepare for
we had
that.
to wait.
We had to make sure all that was ready.
Oh Lord. Um, well, I don't know about you, but I watched some movies during this
Oh, I
month.
did too.
Oh boy.
And I guess we'll talk about it now on the Mr. Movies podcast.
Hell yeah, baby. Like and subscribe.
Would you like to
Alrighty.
go first?
Um, I'm gonna talk about a movie that I watched.
So, yes. Well, first of all, tradition. How many things do you have?
Oh, that's true. I have. Oh, I can't count. 14.
Wow.
How many do you got?
I have 10.
Fantastic. I'll take us away. I watched the Apple Plus TV movie Raymond and Ray, and I only watched it because it stars Ewan McGregor and Ethan Hawke, and I like those two fellas, and I was like, I want to see them bounce off each other. They play a set of siblings who have not talked in a while, but then their father passes away, and they have to go um, to his funeral, and like one of the dad's last wishes is that they actually like dig the grave. So it's like this awkward thing where these two siblings who haven't connected have to dig this grave. Um, this movie definitely has some pacing issues,
Hmm.
but the chemistry between Ethan Hawke and Ewan McGregor is just so great that I end up really liking this movie. I don't think it's anything spectacular, but it's just so it's just such a like feel good sort of thing, and it gets a little wacky, it gets a little crazy. But I really enjoyed it, and I would recommend it.
You would.
This was Apple TV free trial month for me. Just as a heads up.
Oh, gotcha. So you had to speed through everything you could find.
Oh yeah, I think there's only two for this month, but I'm just one man.
That's true. Anyway,
Duncan,
that
what did
that
you
does
watch?
sound interesting because
Oh,
I
it's
like
very good. Yeah,
the character driven movies again. It sounds like you don't need a lot of characters to tell that story. So,
no, it gets a little bit like there are a couple side characters. They meet like the woman that the dad was married to, and there's some weird subplots where I'm like, ooh, that's uncomfortable. But yeah,
what does the mom start flirting with Ewan McGregor because he's Ewan?
you nailed it.
What?
Yeah, Ewan McGregor has a thing for what would be his stepmom, and but other than that, it's a great movie. Like I said, there's a few bumps in the road, but yeah.
Lead with that. Lead with that when you talk
I
about
don't
the
want to
movie.
spoil the movie.
I need like a trigger warning before you jump into that. My God.
Yeah.
Okay. I watched something too.
Oh, nice.
I watched the entirety of Santa Clarita Diet.
Oh, how is that?
You know, if you get past 3 episodes, it's a nonstop thrill ride. It's it
That's
it
with
it
Drew
gets
Barrymore and Timothy Oliphant, right?
that is exactly right.
Nice.
It's the concept is, a modern suburban family. The mom gets bit by a zombie, but it was the only zombie, and they kill that zombie. So the whole infection is like contained down to her. So if she can just keep it in control, then so they have to be like they have to do their job. They have to sell homes, while also dealing with the ethics of like killing bad people and eating
Yeah.
them. And you know it's really, the story is goofy. Like, don't follow it too religiously when if you watch it. Timothy Oliphant and Drew Barrymore, their performances in this movie, not movie, in this TV show, it is so electric. I don't know if it was the writing or just like the energy they brought to set, but I would rewatch that entire series just to see those two interact
I
together.
really want to watch it. My sister actually was recommending it to me, but I don't have Netflix anymore because
Well,
they did the password thingy, and I was like, I'm not gonna, you know,
no, I get that.
I gotta stick it to the man, Duncan.
But don't worry, Frank, because even if you started Santa Clarita Diet and you started really getting into it, you would find out that it got canceled in the middle of a middle of a season it was in.
Does it end
So,
on a cliffhanger?
uh, yes,
Oh, geez,
but the cliffhanger kind of has some symbolism to it. So, like, you
it
could
works.
you could argue that it's just a fucked up ending. Anyway, Santa Clarita Diet, really enjoyed it.
Okay. I watched another Ethan Hawke movie.
Oh yes, uh-huh.
I gotta look it up because this is the second one, right? Yeah, I watched Before Sunset. I also watched Before Midnight or After whatever. Yeah, Before Midnight Later. I couldn't
Yeah,
remember which one was which. This is the middle one. This is number two.
gotcha.
And this movie's just so damn cute. That's all I gotta say.
It sounds like it really got you hooked.
I know it is really good. I mean, these movies are essentially like little hour and a half blocks. Do you know about these movies?
I know about them, yes.
So they're like 10, if people don't know, it's like every movie is like they filmed it 10 years apart from each other. And it basically follows this couple for an hour and a half. It's just them talking about their lives and stuff. And this one,
And they just can't keep away from each other.
yeah,
Sorry,
no,
go on.
I would rank them like they get better. Each one gets significantly better, I think. Like I
Okay.
thought this one was really good. And then Before Midnight, I think, is like the best one by far. But
Wow.
this one, it's more so like I felt I could relate to the most, at least, because in the next one, it's like they've been married for too damn long, and it's like, how the hell am I supposed to know what that feels like? Um, but this one, I was like, I gotcha, I'm there, and I enjoyed it.
That's
I don't have too much to
interesting.
say
Like
about this. I mean, those movies really speak for themselves, but they're very good. I highly recommend them.
it's interesting like what you find relatable in what stage of the relationship those two are in. That's
Yeah,
interesting. Like
like I feel
whoever
like the
watches
third
it.
one, I'm gonna like maybe 20 years from now, I'll love. I do like it now. I love it now, but I'm just like I feel like I'm really gonna vibe with that movie 20 years from now. Which is a horrible thing to say because I feel like that's just gonna be like, oh boy, my 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 marital relationship is a disaster. That's the only way you could
Mhm.
really relate to that movie. So what am I predicting for myself? Let's move on. Duncan, what did you watch?
Oh yeah. First of all, let me apologize for my hair.
I was
I
gonna
need
say, you're really putting it up there.
my it itches. I need a haircut, and these headphones aren't helping. Like
Yeah.
there's so much hair that gets caught in the ears. I watched Search Party.
What is the search party?
Search Party is a 4 season long, incomprehensible story. I forget her name. Damn it. She plays Maybe in Arrested Development.
Never seen it. Oh, is Nick from New Girl in this? Jake Johnson?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I don't know what I'm thinking
Um,
about.
her name is Elia something. But the first season is about her. She and her group of like really preppy New York friends find out that one of their old classmates went missing. And for some reason, Elia's like, we have to find her. And the other friends are like, why? No, we don't. Like, we didn't talk to her. Like, we had no connection to her. But she like demands it. And so season 1 is all about finding her.
Mm-hmm.
Then something happens at the end of season 1. Season 2 is all about dealing with what happened at the end of season 1. And you know what? Like the third one, it turns into like a Saw, like trapped in the basement, can't like I don't want to spoil it, but like in season 3, someone recreates the main character's apartment out of foam in their basement in a giant like
This
metal
sounds like my kind of
container.
show.
It comes out of nowhere. You're like, they were looking for a girl 2 seasons ago. And season 2 is just so wild and insane. And the whole season is about the other friends being like, should we look for her?
I was gonna say
Uh,
I'm looking at the cast. This has a stacked cast.
I and Elia just acts her ass off the whole time. Please tell me I'm getting that name right.
I have no idea.
Shit. Um, but then season 4, they really decided to like, let's go nuts. And because of the what she went through in season 3, the main character is now like hyper cultish and starts a cult, and like people are following her, and she teams up with I an Elon Musk type played by Jeff Goldblum, and like they're trying to make like the happiness pill, and it's like you take this
Okay.
pill and it makes you happy, and all of her friends are like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, don't, like, who are you? And one by one they fall for the cult and start like they get indoctrinated in. I think the show is really about missing identities. The 4 characters arguably are all very bad people. Like they're not, they're very preppy, they're very like rich, spoiled. But that does kind of get lost a bit because the back the back half of season 4 is about the happiness pill starting the zombie apocalypse.
Okay.
And it just, it doesn't say like, oh, and then everyone died. It's like there are full episodes of them escaping rooms full of like these like people like
This
out of
show
their
kind of sounds
minds.
like it has a Riverdale vibe to it.
It does, but it's Riverdale if Riverdale was smart.
Okay.
I loved the show because every season was so crazy. I was like, I don't know what I'm watching. And then at the very end, like the final shot, I was like, oh, oh, like, okay. And then it all made sense.
Okay.
And I think that's impressive for a show to do that. Anyway, it's a show about a lot of shit. So,
All righty.
search party.
Well, Duncan, I'm gonna talk about 2 movies.
Boy.
Back to back, baby. All righty. Now, January was the beginning. You have your headphones off. How can you hear me, Duncan? You know? What's happening? What are we doing here?
What do you mean?
Don't worry about it. January began. January started my Steven Spielberg watch, where this year I will be watching every single Steven Spielberg movie and talking about it on this podcast. So
Oh my god.
this month I watched 2.
So do we need to make like a segment for this? Is this
Yeah,
like
let's get
a
a
Spielberg
graphic. I
segment?
want Steven's face on the screen.
Okay. Do you need, it needs like an intro, so like say a jingle for it.
Stevie Steve, Stevie Steve, Stevie Steve, rewatch. You like that?
Yes, I guess. Yeah, we're going with that.
All righty, it's time for the Stevie Steve rewatch, and 2 movies for this month.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I was trying to watch them in chronological order. Eventually, this falls off because there's like a 3-month gap where I don't watch any because I was waiting for Close Encounters of the Third Kind to go on streaming, but it was taking its sweet ass time to get there. So
Gotcha.
there's going to be months where like my whole list it's just going to be the Stevie Steve catch up. But don't worry about it.
Can't wait.
This month for the Stevie Steve catch up, we're talking about his very first movie, Duel, which was a TV movie that was very successful and eventually made its way into theaters because it was so successful and kind of kickstarted his career.
What's it
And
about?
Duel is freaking fantastic. I could not believe how good this movie is. You definitely see like the beginnings of the Steven Spielberg we've known to come and love. And Duel, very simple premise. The guy's driving down the street and there's a big ass truck chasing after him. And you're like, how could this be interesting for an hour and a half? They make it interesting for an hour and a half. I was on the edge of my seat. I was glued to the screen. I was ready to party with this. I was like, yeah, baby. A master of building tension. There's a scene in a bar, I'm sorry, a restaurant where the guy that's being chased is in there and he knows who, you never see who's driving the truck, but he knows that whoever is driving the truck is somewhere inside this restaurant. And like, is just afraid this dude's gonna attack him because like this truck's trying to like run him off the road and kill him.
Right.
And they just keep you hooked. They keep you engaging. It's an hour 30 minutes. It's in and it's out. It's incredibly well paced. This is one of my all-time favorite Steven Spielberg movies now. I had never seen this one before.
What year did it come out in?
Oh shoot, I have no idea. I actually have a Steven Spielberg's collector's box, which had this movie in it.
Oh yeah.
That I purchased just for this segment, and it has the year, but I'm sure we could find it.
Well, I'm assuming because it's his first, so like it would have to have been a long time ago.
It was like in the 60s, yeah.
Okay. Wow.
So it's good. It's really good. So I highly, highly, highly recommend Duel for the Stevie Steve rewatch.
All right.
Then I watched his second TV film, which is a straight up horror movie. And this one's called Something Evil. And this movie is not good.
Something Evil?
Yeah, this movie's rough, but you see the beginnings of Steven Spielberg and you're like, okay. Sure. I see it's well directed for what it is. You know,
you're like, this will pay off.
Like it's very, very, very low budget. I would guess this is significantly a lower budget than Duel was, just from watching. I still enjoyed it though, and it's not great. I would not recommend this one, but as someone who's a fan of his films, I loved watching it just to see, okay, I see the beginnings of the man, the myth, the legend.
So as we continue into this segment, I think we should rank them. I think so. Right now, Duel is your number one.
Duel's number one.
And Something Evil?
Yeah.
Something Scary?
Something Evil. I gotta
Something Evil is number two. And then every time we revisit the segment,
this shit's gonna get tedious. But we will do our best.
That's a good point. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have.
You know, you signed me up, Duncan. It's over. What did you watch?
Okay. I talked too long about Search Party, so I will not talk too long about this one, even though I could.
You talk as long as
I watched Zack Stone Is Gonna Be Famous.
I thought you were gonna say Zack Snyder or something, and I got really excited.
And it's an MTV season that Bo Burnham got to just make his story for.
Okay.
And he's telling his story about this kid who he's dying to be famous. Like, he doesn't care how. Like, he has hired, the show is filmed and operated like live action or handheld because he's hired camera people to follow him around in his daily life.
Mm-hmm.
And each episode is him trying a different way to go viral or to cause a spectacle. And it's got the classic Bo Burnham kind of energy. This was before he was like racist.
No?
Well, I know that he dives into like kind of edgy humor before this and after, because he's a teenager in this, or like 20 something.
Okay.
So it's in the middle of his weird period, but
I was gonna say I feel like he's pretty like mellow now.
I'm sure MTV also was
Oh
like,
yeah.
hey,
They
don't
probably
say
made him
anything
slurp
too
down a
off
bunch
of
of Mountain
around.
Dews and then jump in front of the camera. That'll
Anyway, that show is really nice. It's really sweet because everything else is like this little cute little suburban home with like, and he's like friends and a brother, and he's got a girl who like a girlfriend but who like likes him but like won't like say it because she's shy. And then that Zach Stone is just annoying, amped up energy, sliding down the stairs, and it's really fun, and it's tragic because at the end something really terrible happens.
Oh geez.
So
Okay.
Bo Burnham
Um,
fans, go check
go
it
burn
out.
them up. I watched did we talk about RRR?
I think very briefly. I think we've talked about it in terms of like you're going to watch it.
Oh, I watched it.
Oh my god.
It's incredible. It is
This
actually
movie
very incredible. And I don't
this
know why.
movie is nuts.
I'm so happy this movie got like a cult following and really blew up because it really makes you think of all the stuff that gets thrown on Netflix and just buried that no one ever watches because they don't advertise anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And also just how boring American storytelling has gotten.
Yeah. Talk
This
about
movie
visual flair.
this movie has like 20 different character arcs,
Yeah.
and it's incredible. Like
It's incredible.
by the time you are at the end of the movie, you have to like remember the beginning, and like
Yeah.
it almost makes you nostalgic because of
Mhm.
like how far it's got.
I will say this movie, it's long, but it really makes you feel like you've been on a journey with these characters.
Yes, it is worth it. The
Yeah,
runtime.
it is incredibly worth it. There's a drone shot of like a dude sitting at the edge of a lake.
Uh-huh.
That shot lives rent free in my mind. There's so many shots in this movie where I'm like, I don't know how they did this, but I love it. You doing okay over there?
Yeah, yeah, talk about it.
I don't
I
know.
got nothing going on.
Yeah,
I
just
want to hear
comb it over, dude. Just comb it over.
I want to hear about what you have to say.
I just
I
think
showered before this, so my hair is drying.
I think RRR is incredible.
Okay, talk about it more.
Um, I don't know. I don't have much to say. I mean, what can be said about this movie that hasn't been said already? Gorgeous cinematography, fantastic acting, wonderful character arcs. Um, Ray Stevenson is in this, right? Yeah.
Were you asking me something?
No, Ray Stevenson is in RRR. He plays like the bad guy, the general.
Oh, what a bad guy.
Oh, he's
What a great
fantastic in
villain.
this
Talk
movie.
about
He's
that.
such a great villain. Rest in peace to him. Very sad. I look forward to seeing him in the Ahsoka series coming up. But yeah, that's too bad he passed away. He's phenomenal in it. Are you okay now? You got your hat on?
The hair is still coming in through the sides of the hat into my ears.
I'm about to run over to you with a pair of snippers and take care of it.
Yeah, I need to get out of the whole like we're quarantining. We can't go to the barber shop. And
Um,
like go.
yeah, that's okay. You know, dude, whatever.
It's one of
Why don't
those
you
things
tell
I
us
can't
what
shake.
you watched and we can propel into it?
We're not sponsored, by the way, by Propel. I've never heard of that brand of water.
It's good. It tastes like watermelons.
Is it better than any other type of water? Dasani, Aquafina.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
But I
All
think
right.
it has Oh, there's a lot of sodium in that. Don't drink for proud. Oh my God, I can't even speak anymore. Duncan, what did you watch?
Right, right. I'm trying to get all my TV shows out of the way first.
Okay.
I watched True Detectives,
Ooh,
all of it.
all of it. I've heard the first season is phenomenal.
The first season is magic. It's gold. It's
Woody's in it, right?
Woody Harrelson and
I
Matthew
love
McConaughey.
Woody. And who?
Matthew McConaughey.
Okay, okay. Or should I say, all
Oh,
right, all right?
yeah.
Oh my gosh, so good. Oh, what an original joke no one's ever made before. Continue.
Just two powerhouse actors who like really bring everything to the role. It's really good. True Detective season 2, it
Yeah.
makes sense, but like it's not the same characters. Like each season is
Oh, it's like an
an
anthology show, sort
anthology.
of. Okay.
Season 3, holy shit, that is good again. Season 3
Okay.
and season 1, I would say, are so close to being equal. And I think season 3 doesn't get enough recognition.
How many seasons are there in total?
I believe only 3, if I'm
Okay.
remembering this right. I think it's Mahershala Ali who's the main character in the 3rd season, and so I'm sure there's like
What's it
a,
on?
well, whatever it was on January, it might not be there now.
That's true.
But it was on HBO.
Okay. All right. I might check that out.
Yeah,
HBO's got some good ones. I really went down the HBO hole recently, and
it's Max. You went into Max's
oh, I went to
hole.
the Max hole. I don't want
You
to say I
went
went to
right.
Max's hole. That sounds
I
disturbing.
will say, True Detective, if you are going into it, be prepared for like some of the grisliest like discomfort you could ever feel,
You got
because
mushrooms back there?
what?
You you have mushrooms on your show.
Oh, that's like a cat toy. It's like a little scratching post for
Oh,
her.
I was so confused. Is that all you had to say on True Detective?
Yeah. Yeah, I was
Well, since we're
finishing it
talking
up.
HBO show, I'm just gonna wiggle my toes into that swimming pool.
Hi.
I watched the show VEEP
Oh my
with
god. Yeah.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah. Did you watch the entire thing?
I watched the whole thing. She's spectacular. I like that all the characters are terrible people and they just get worse as the show continues.
And that's politics, baby.
It's politics, baby. And it's just so good. It's so funny. It always found ways to reinvent itself, which I really liked. Um, there's a lot of seasons, I think. What is there? 5, 6 seasons?
I think, yeah, 6.
6 seasons?
And
Yeah, no,
you don't get sick of them.
no, not
like
at all.
those
And
terrible
I
people.
needed a comedy just to jump into to laugh and enjoy and remember the simpler things of life. And Veep was that for me.
That's awesome.
I feel bad. I feel like I don't have a lot to say about a lot of these things.
Well, I mean,
Is that
it's
just the
just
culture we're
recommend
living
them.
in? Is everything just, hey, I watched it. I have nothing to say.
Well, no, the point is that
Is it just all content, Duncan?
we're talking to the audience about whether or not we'd recommend it.
I know. But how many things it's good, but like I'm not like jump out of the chair.
But you don't have to like over explain it, because,
Yeah, it's good.
it's good. It's good. It's
Are
good.
your hands okay?
What do you mean?
Don't do that. You're gonna get carpal tunnel.
Why are we so weird today?
I don't know. It's off. It's off today. I don't know. Something's in the propel. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I'm just probably just like a gas leak in my house.
I
Are you gonna go or should I?
I just did. I talked about Veep.
That's right, you did. Do you recommend VEEP?
You know what? Watch it. Best show ever. What do you? I don't know what I'm supposed to say. I don't know. It's fine. It's good.
I watched Love in the Villa,
Hell yeah. What's that about?
which is a shitty, terrible movie. I'm kidding. It is another one of those very bad romance. Woman has to move to Italy, but oh no, the Airbnb booked two people,
Two at once.
and the other guy is like
Sounds
the
like
opposite as
Barbarian.
her. It's barbarian. If like the beginning was played out in Italy. Um, it's just an enemies to lovers plot in Italy with very ditzy characters. There is one scene with CGI cats that looks like scary. Like I'm talking like Harry Potter 1 CGI
Okay.
cats, and they look
Harry
bad.
Potter one.
They look bad. And like
You remember the troll in Harry Potter one, and then they have to stick the wand up its nose?
I do remember that.
In
And
the
then there's never
bathroom.
talk of like any
That always
trolls.
freaked me out. I always thought there was gonna be a troll whenever I went to go do my business in the bathroom.
How old were you when that came
I
out?
think like four.
Anyway,
Can you imagine?
hmm?
Where would it even hide? You know, there's a small bathroom. Where a
Maybe it's
freaking troll?
teeny, and then once you're in there, it can grow.
Oh gosh.
Anyway, um, out of all the like dumb romance movies, this one I think is going to help me the most because I'm going to Italy, and like this one kind of gave me a bit of a.
When are you going to Italy? What the hell?
But yeah,
That's cool. I'm
and I'm
excited
going
for
to
you.
piss people off.
Hey, that's what you gotta do.
That's enough Italy talk. Um, what did you watch, Frank?
I watched I watched the Apple TV Plus movie Cha Cha Real Smooth. Um, this movie, everybody was saying it was one of the best that 2022 had to offer. I watched it. I did not like it.
Okay.
This is one of those movies where it's the director is also the main actor, and he just plays a guy who's just a swell dude and has a heart of gold and can do nothing wrong. Even though the plot of this movie is that he sleeps with a married woman, and then I'm gonna spoil the whole movie.
What kind of man would fantasize about that?
Okay, I'm gonna spoil the whole movie because this upset me. Okay,
Sure.
it's this guy he's going through. He doesn't know what the next step. He just graduated college. He's working a crap job, and he doesn't know what the next steps of life are going to be. He meets this woman who's married, but her husband's always out on these business trips. So he decides to get frisky with her. They get
Right.
frisky. It's Dakota Johnson, and
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah. He made himself be in love with Dakota
yes,
Johnson.
and
This man, yes.
that's him. And so, spoiler alert: the husband finds out. He comes home. He's pissed off, but then he talks to the kid at the end of the movie, and he's like, "You know what, kid? It's all okay. You're a good guy, and I don't blame you." And I feel like this kid never truly faces the consequences for his actions, and he's all over the place. And this movie wasn't for me.
So what you're telling me is
I'd rather watch
gave...
Ewan McGregor trying to get with his stepmom than watch this again.
They just gave him a budget to like act out his fantasy. Is that what?
I guess.
And
There's
Dakota
parts of this movie
Johnson
that
is
are
just
very
like, oh
relatable.
my
The
god,
whole
you're
idea of
irresistible.
graduating college and then working a crappy job, like, yeah, I could understand that. Not knowing where your life's gonna go. That was me in a year after school. I was just working. I was working a movie theater job. I loved it. I had a good time. Great people, but it's not what I wanted to do with my life. But
Leslie
I didn't try
Mann
to
is
sleep
in
with
this.
a married Dakota Johnson and then be the victim at the end.
Leslie Mann is in this.
Yes.
How? Like I've never heard of this guy before. Why?
what's his name? I forget his name.
Oh, I got it right here. Cooper Rife.
Cooper Rife, yes.
Oh my God, the character's name is Rife. He names it after himself.
Yeah. I'm not a fan.
I'm poisoned.
I'm curious to check out his other movie though, because I do think this was a well-made movie. I didn't like the script.
Anyway, wow. My advice is don't waste money and just like fantasize about that next time. Rife.
You got anything you fit into 2 minutes, or are we going to take our Zoom break?
I'd like to talk about whether or not you would sleep with Dakota Johnson, knowing she
Oh,
was married.
jeez. Yeah, is she married in this? I think she might have been pregnant in the movie too. I don't
You're
remember.
fucking kidding. That's okay. So that's a fantasy and a fetish that this guy
It's
is like.
I don't know. I don't know what was happening. I don't remember if Dakota Johnson was pregnant. No, I'm sorry. Dakota Johnson has a kid, and he's being friendly with the kid. He's being a good person because I think the kid has like autism, and so he's being a saint to the kid. And she's like, "Ooh, I'm asleep with him," and that's why the dad wasn't upset, because he's like, "You know what? You were just real kind to my daughter. I can forgive you for."
You were kind to my kid and you took care of my wife. Like, here's my
Yeah.
car keys. Get out of here.
Yeah.
That is the most insane thing. Just so
98%
self-entitled.
on Rotten Tomatoes, I think.
I might have to see this. I might have to
Right.
witness this movie.
Apple TV, get streaming.
God damn. All right. Well,
It's
we
time
need
for
to
the
we need to take our you know
Yeah, I know.
our intermission. So we'll see you
Yeah.
guys in a minute.
Bye.
Bye.
I kind of want to wait to see this thing run out, because I don't think I've ever seen it run out.
I mean, I don't think anything happens. I think it
Is
just
it just going to boot us?
we have less than 1 minute to find out.
Can I just say, I just got to say,
Okay.
I just rewatched the Mission Impossible trailer, and because first reactions just came out for Dead Reckoning Part 1, which I've said, if I could only watch one movie this year, it would be that. I would inject it in my eyeballs with syringes, and I'd give myself to the Lords for it. And people are saying it is the best one yet, baby. It's a masterpiece. This sucker's like 3 hours long. I can't wait.
And it's part 1.
Part 1. Let's go. I'm so pumped. Oh my gosh.
I would consider myself a casual fan of that franchise. It sounds like a lot.
Yeah. And Tom
Not
Cruise just said, "Oh, part 2 ain't the last one, baby. There's still more to come."
what? I thought this was supposed to be like his
No,
send.
we're getting more. Tom Cruise is going to be in a wheelchair, freaking jumping off cliffs like Mac and me.
Oh my God. All right. I forget who went last.
How many do you have left? I have 7.
I have 5 left.
You have 5, so I'll go. I watched the Netflix movie Emily the Criminal, which is about a girl named Emily, and she decides to become a criminal.
Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, I believe I watched this at like 1 a.m., so I don't remember what happens. But I watched it.
Count it.
Count it. So that's all I have to say about that. But speaking of Aubrey Plaza, I also watched the movie Ingrid Goes West, which I really, really enjoyed.
I liked this one.
It was dark, it was twisted, it was hilarious. Her and Elizabeth Olsen played off each other so well. For those of you who don't know what this movie is about, basically Aubrey Plaza becomes obsessed with this big influencer played by Elizabeth Olsen, and decides to use her social media to stalk her and like force a friendship between the two. And it works. They become best friends, and it's so funny. It's so messed up. And I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I don't remember when I watched this, but like it's good.
It's
I
really good.
think
Yeah.
like just the idea that like you can read back someone's social media, figure out who they are, and then change your own personality to match. I mean, the movie doesn't go like too over its head and heels, like trying to like point that out, like, oh, delete
Yeah.
Facebook. But like just by having that be the driving force, I thought that was so cool.
I also really appreciated the character of her boyfriend who's trying to write a Batman script throughout and I really thought that was
I
hilarious.
forgot it's also making fun of like
Oh
like
yeah.
LA influencers.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm working on the script of the next Batman movie. She's like, oh, you were hired by Warner Brothers. He goes, no, I'm just working on my free time. It's so funny. Um,
Oh God. I can hear him.
it's so funny. I recommend this one. Duncan, what did you watch?
Good question. I watched Uncharted.
Oh boy, Tommy Holland.
They should
Hey,
have
Mark
called
Wahlberg.
this Uncharted.
Hey, we gotta get the pirate ship. Okay, I don't see it on the map. I think it's Uncharted. Don't they have to steal a pirate ship in this movie? Isn't that the plot?
Are you trying to be Mark Wahlberg or
Yeah,
Tom?
Mark Wahlberg. That's my
Why is
Mark
his voice
Wahlberg
so
game.
high?
That's how he talks.
Yeah, but like out loud. Like
That's how he talks. Like this. You ever seen the movie Ted? I play a teddy bear. Oh, wait, no, that's Seth MacFarlane. He plays the adult.
all right, I was just gonna suggest maybe don't go as high.
That's how he talks. That's how Mark Wahlberg talks.
Okay, yes, I watched the Uncharted movie. I have never played an Uncharted game. I've never watched an Uncharted playthrough.
I'm sorry. How about you do your Mark Wahlberg impression before you come after mine? Alrighty. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
When did he beat up that Japanese guy?
Oh, jeez. Oh.
Shame on you, Frank. Pick your heroes better.
I didn't say it was a hero.
Oh. Anyway, uh this movie's really bad.
Uh,
Um it it's not even creative bad. It's just like you've seen every scene in this movie in a different movie. Like
I've
it's
actually
just
seen the last half of this movie because there was a bunch of teenage boys at the movie theater that went to see it when I was working, and I had to stand in the back of the theater because they were being rowdy. And I told them, "Hey, Mark Wahlberg's on the screen. Why don't you respect him?"
why is he Irish at the end?
I don't know. I couldn't slip
You've
into
got
it
to
that time.
respect him.
Hey, you want to watch my new movie,
Yeah.
Father Stew?
Anyway, that's Uncharted. I don't think there's going to be another one. Good. Okay, your turn, Frank. Propel into the next one.
I watched the Oscar-nominated film Women Talking, and boy, do they blabber in this one. I
As soon as I heard the title, I'm like, okay, there's a joke coming soon. I didn't expect it right after.
um, this movie is about a bunch of women who are basically being held captive by a bunch of dudes,
Oh,
and they are talking about how they're going to escape. One of the guys who is like he was in the Paddington movies. I forget his name, and then he was in the James Bond movies. You know that guy? He's in this too, and he's one of my favorite parts of this movie. Um, because he's kind of like the one guy that's like on the side of the women who are talking, and he wants to help the talking women escape.
I've heard about this movie. I had no idea it was about that.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
All right. So, I mean, would you recommend it? Is it,
Yeah, no, I would. I would
did you
recommend.
like women talking?
I did like women talking. I don't. It's not a movie that's for everyone. Everybody, that's for sure. But I do think select if you like that indie little like one location and you like good dialogue, I definitely recommend this movie.
All right. Looks like I'm gonna get myself into some women talking.
Hell yeah, baby.
Some talking women. Just why would they call it that?
I will say the title was the title is the worst part of this movie. I get why it's called that. It makes sense within the context of the film, but I was like, you couldn't have picked a better title.
Women whispering.
Women Lady Escape? I don't know. That's even worse.
I would watch Lady Escape. That sounds awesome. Okay. I watched. Ooh, okay. This is gonna be an interesting one.
Oh
I
boy.
watched the documentary This Place Rules by Andrew Callahan. And it was basically he and a few friends get an RV and they road trip across America going to different Trump rallies and like weird concerts and like they're just trying to like get a sense. It feels like
I
a segment from the Daily Show, but like made for our generation
okay.
that just goes on for 2 hours. Andrew Callahan grew up in Seattle. He went to my high school. I have a lot of people, friends around here who knew him. He got canceled. A lot of people came forward, and it turns out that he was very manipulative and coerced people into doing things they didn't want to do.
Mm,
And it really affects the documentary
yeah, I was gonna say. When did he
because
get
he
canceled?
I don't remember when. It was the same time that the Rick and Morty Justin Roiland.
Okay. So this was fairly recent.
Right. Yeah. I remember those
Did
two
you watch this
happening.
after or before he got canceled?
I watched it before.
Okay. So has your opinion changed based on the canceling?
Well,
Or
because
is it just wouldn't watch it again probably, but
in the documentary, he's like interviewing these QAnon like full on conspiracy theorists, and they're like, "Oh, the Democrats are full of pedophiles, and they're drinking blood, and they're like killing goats or Satan." And then like at the end, Andrew Callahan like he brings out paperwork that like the guy he's been interviewing the whole time like is actually convicted for pedophilia in Florida. And the guy's like, that's different. And it's supposed to be this big gotcha.
yeah.
But now that
Oh yeah. That's rough.
it's
Mm,
yeah.
yeah.
Also, I think documentaries on the state of the world, I'm gonna skip this block of time.
Yeah.
I think 2016 to like what I'm hoping is 2025. I'm just gonna be like, I'm done.
I don't blame you. Well, I actually have a movie that I think would tie into that. It's a movie about cancel culture. It's a movie about um,
And what a culture it is.
what a culture it is. It's a movie about like the different mindsets in like the United States and how diverse the how diverse people's thoughts can be for better or worse. And that is the it's also the directorial debut of BJ Novak from The Office. And this is the movie Vengeance.
I've
Have
heard
you
about
heard of
this.
this?
I actually have heard about this.
I think you would love this movie.
Are you sure?
I think you would love this movie.
I've seen clips that are like very not subtle in the dialogue. And it feels to me like BJ Novak was like, I'm gonna be the guy to ask the question. And then he made a movie about it.
Yeah, but it all plays into that. It all plays into that. I would recommend you check out this movie. This movie's great.
You still had a
Um,
good time with it?
I had a good. it really is very thought provoking. Um, I like how it speaks to like the idea of cancel culture and how it's sort of like the spotlight is on you, and then like what happens when it's not on you. Like, is that person like it gets into all of that. It's very. I really liked it.
So, like, I am someone who believes that like cancel culture does not exist
Yeah.
because everyone who has been like the spotlight is back in some way
Yeah.
and like not canceled. So this is coming from a like a Hollywood insider's perspective.
Mhm.
Do you think that affected the movie knowing that the perspective was from someone in the industry?
I think the movie is very um what's the word I'm looking for?
Polarizing?
Not kind to the industry. Um um
Gotcha.
but I definitely think it's definitely has an inside look from the industry. The main character is working in the entertainment industry. And so it's kind of like the shitty things that you would do to move up versus the shitty things people do because they have power. And it talks about that in a very interesting way.
Hmm.
I don't want to
All
say
right.
much more. I think this is a movie people should definitely
You've
check out.
confused me enough into checking this out.
It's good. I recommend it.
All right. All right.
I
I'll
got
see
all
about that.
bangers from here on out. I'm pretty pumped.
Hell yeah. I do too, actually. I'm
Take us away.
right. So I accidentally took two THC sleeping mints instead of one at my old apartment where it was hard for me to sleep. And I decided not to sleep and I bought the movie Puss in Boots: The Last Wish on
Ooh,
Amazon.
I've heard nothing but great things about this movie.
So when my first experience with this movie, I'm a little altered. Um I remember going like, to rent is $20, but to buy is 25. What's the difference?
Yeah,
Like
just buy it.
bad, bad decision making.
Did you buy it or rent it?
I bought it.
Okay,
I permanently have that movie.
nice.
And you know what? Kind of glad. It's really good.
Okay.
I I thought this movie, it kind of comes out of nowhere character wise. Like you wouldn't expect this story to be where that character goes. But the themes and how literal they get with the themes, I just from a creative standpoint, I'm pretty obsessed with it. Like I really really liked it. I immediately recommended it to like people I know.
Okay. Yeah, I do want to check it out. It is on the old list to watch.
Yeah, I bet you'd love it actually.
I've heard like the way it's animated is incredible. Who would have thought like a sequel? I never saw the first Puss in Boots movie. Did you?
I must have been at like the dentist's office and it was playing on one of those top corner
Okay.
TVs because I've seen scenes from it.
I was gonna say this seems very different from what that was, which is probably for the best. But
Yeah,
I'm curious to check it out.
please do.
Puss in Boots has my attention. Um, I'm a big fan of Damien Chazelle. I got to see the man at a screening for the movie First Man, and this year he had a movie come out called Babylon, which I checked out in the month of. Have you seen Babylon?
Nope.
Okay, why you what? Yeah, you look like you got something to say about it.
No, I want you to talk first.
So I'm very mixed on this movie because on one hand, it is. I guess I can't really talk about it without spoiling the movie though, so I feel bad. It's one of those ones. basically the whole time I'm watching this movie, I'm thinking, oh, this is kind of like another movie that I've seen that's very iconic. And then the big twist at the end of the movie is, hey, this whole movie's like this movie that was pretty iconic. And I'm like, yeah, I got that. And it's just, it feels weird. Um, I felt like some of the side characters were very much sidelined, which I get it, they're side characters, but it was like I was more interested in their stories than some of the ones that it focused on. Um, this movie, I don't know. I kind of want to watch, like, I have so much critical stuff against it. Yet if you were to put it on right now, I'd be glued to the TV.
It I decided not to watch it because every trailer made it look,
The marketing for this movie is horrible. I would like to say that too. The
yeah,
trailers are horrific.
yeah, it, that worked on me. It turned me away.
Yeah.
Um, but I've heard that it's very self-congratulatory.
One of the issues I have with this movie is that it's very much look what's wrong with Hollywood, look what's wrong with Hollywood. But also I'm gonna play into that because that's how I'm gonna get this movie made. And it's
From a
very
Hollywood
weird.
movie.
It's very weird. Um, I like Damien Chazelle, one of the greatest makers of our time right now. Um, I can't even call this movie a misstep. It's such a weird movie. It's such a weird movie where I see all the flaws. The flaws are very easy to see, but I still enjoyed it.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. I kind of want you to watch it so we could have a more in-depth talk about it. I
Fine,
don't,
I'll
you're
look
not
it
gonna
up.
like the first 40 minutes. You're gonna hate them.
The first 40?
First 40 minutes you're actively gonna hate. The title card doesn't come up that says Babylon until 40 minutes into the movie.
Oh, already angry. Okay. Was that all you had to say?
If you didn't like the gratuity of The Wolf of Wall Street, this movie's 10 times worse. Alrighty, continue.
Yeah, the trailers look pretty hedonistic. There's like very weird.
Yeah.
They love that shot of like Margot Robbie and like the red orange, whatever the fuck.
The first 40 minutes of this movie is just a party. Like it's just a Hollywood party. And
What?
it's it's graphic, it's disgusting at some points. Um yeah.
Okay. And you want me to watch it?
Yeah, I do. I actually think we could have a really good conversation.
Hmm, fine. All right, propelling on. The next two things I have actually I'm gonna get out at once. So, do you want to go one more time so you can have the last one?
Let's do it. Um I always like to save my favorite thing for the last one of the month. I kind of have two that are tied for first. So I'm just gonna let it rip. I'll do one, but know that they're both the same.
Yeah, rip
Um,
it.
2023, we're halfway through, obviously, but this was the first month. And I have to say, this year, as a fan of horror movies, this year has treated me very, very well. And it all started back in January with Mathregan. I
Oh
think
my god.
this movie is spectacular. I think this movie is hilarious. I think this movie actually tries to say something, which was shocking. This movie is incredibly well made. Like you could tell there was actually a surprising amount of care and love that went into this movie. And I had such a good time watching it. The audience, I saw this in a packed theater and everyone was losing it. People were clapping. We were rooting for Megan. We were rooting for Megan. Um, and
That sounds like the perfect way to witness that movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. This movie's oh, there's certain shots and lines in this movie that will stick with me forever. I truly loved it. I Are you ever gonna watch Megan
You know
Mathregan?
what? I think the marketing was for me, I could tell like they were trying to do something with the marketing. And then especially when it got taken over, because there's that clip where she's like doing a hip thing, and then
It's like the
Twitter was like,
dance.
"Oh, slay on Megan," and
Yeah.
then the I don't know what to think because I know it's not slay Megan, and but it's also not probably the full. It's not just Chucky, right?
No. It's very close. Like it's like the cousin of Chucky, I'd call it. It's
Bride of
definitely got the
Chucky.
same like comedic vibe to it. Um,
Hmm.
but it's good.
All right, I'm choosing to believe you.
Become a Megan believer, my friend.
I actually might check out Megan.
All right.
Allison Williams, isn't it, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. I am so in love with her.
She's great. You got to
I,
watch this.
I know for like 10 years, like
Mhm.
Allison Williams, I have
Even after watching Get Out.
that one was tough for us.
No,
We had to work through that one. Uh no, but that's like a crush. Like for me,
yeah.
I'm gonna revert back to like nervous teenage
Oh
Duncan if I
yeah.
watch
You
Megan.
definitely got to watch Megan then.
Damn it. Fine. Okay, so these next two movies I'm going to get out at once because we watched them at once. Um, we had two friends over for a drinking game. We didn't know what, you know, movie to watch or like how to like count the drink like tally. The first movie is Zoom Academy of Superheroes.
Oh, Tim Allen.
This is what let me try and remember. I believe we had to take a drink when we saw terrible CGI.
Whoa.
We had to take a drink whenever the Courtney Cox character was like clumsy.
Mhm.
We had to, we had to take a shot. Uh, this one was tricky. Every time Tim Allen says something in the movie that he thinks would get him canceled today, we took a shot. So not one that would cancel
I
him, but
remember
one that he'd say.
I remember actually being excited when this movie was coming out when I was a young boy. And I
Well,
remember
yeah,
even at a
because you
young
were like
age watching it.
6.
I remember watching it and thinking, this sucks. I think that was like one of the first movies where I was like, this sucks.
Yeah, I mean they
Jesus.
just don't explain anything. The character arcs are inconsistent.
That was the movie that taught Frank that yes, they can make bad movies.
But here's the thing. You know what came out the next year?
Hmm.
Iron Man. So ask yourself, which came first? The Marvel Cinematic Universe or Zoom
Ooh,
Academy of Superheroes?
jeez.
Oh my god.
What was the other movie you watched?
The other movie we watched was Roadhouse.
Patrick Swayze?
Patrick Swayze. We got
I've
crazy
never
with
seen it.
Swayze. This movie is a non-stop bar fight. It's set in some kind of weird world where bouncers at bars are like celebrities. And right, you know, whenever something's going wrong in the bar, like some guys acting rowdy, like these guys intervene. And it's so interesting because the choreography, I mean, it's a bar fight. The choreography is like drunk martial arts because within the context, everyone's been drinking. It's like half the movie is in a bar.
Hmm.
But like it's it's entertaining in the sense that like we watched this after Zoom, so we were already blitzed and like, you know, it's Roadhouse. Um, but it was just a lot of like fighting or people like driving to their next fight. or like I fell asleep during a little bit of it. Um, I have a low tolerance, but I remember at one point in the movie, they're at like a gated community lake, and across the lake is a cabin, and he's fighting some guy across the lake, but the guy in the cabin is like shooting at him.
Oh, geez.
So it's like a fist fight. This is one of those classic movies where like old people will say it's the best thing ever, and you'll
Yeah.
watch it and you'll go,
I was gonna say I know some
okay,
Roadhouse fans.
yeah, watch out for those people because Roadhouse is weird. It's kind of a weird movie to like support, I think,
Yeah.
or at least like find out why they support it. Um, all I
Oh,
remember for this
Sways,
one is that
maybe.
we had to take a drink every time someone flipped a switchblade open. That's all I remember. The fact that I can't remember that night in
I
that
was gonna
movie.
say. I mean, a Zoom probably I would have been dead after that drinking that much. Holy crap.
Oh my god.
Lord.
Yeah, that was my January.
Okay. Well, I got one more, and it's a movie that is currently, it was in theaters, but is now streaming on Netflix, and I highly, 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 highly recommend everyone checks it out. Um, it, it was fun, it was entertaining, it had some really good plot twists in it. It was incredibly well written. I like the way they shot the film, it was very unique. And that is the movie Missing, starring Storm Reed. And this movie is about,
Hmm.
it's like one of those movies where like it only takes place on technology. So it's like it's like the recording of a MacBook screen and then like
Right. What is
characters
that?
through FaceTime. Um,
There was one movie earlier that did that.
yes. And this can feel gimmicky. So I usually don't like movies like this. But
Okay.
this movie does it so incredibly well that it had me hooked from the beginning and I was sucked into the story and the characters. And it's so creatively well done. And I really, really, I was very impressed with how well written it was.
Wow.
Yeah.
For you to give that compliment, that's like, all right.
I was shocked. And there's I don't know, there was just something that they had like this nostalgic feel to it. And I just movies like this can get stale and boring really fast. So the fact that
Right.
this was able to keep its energy up and constantly keep me engaged was like it didn't wait till I was starting to feel bored. Like it said, okay, this is the perfect time to end this and start this. And it was
Okay.
some of the best pacing I've seen in a movie so far this year. Um, I really love this movie. I think Storm Reed is an incredible actress. I want to see her in so much more. She was in one episode of The Last of Us. Now I root for her whenever I see her in stuff after this.
I do
I
remember that.
really,
Yeah.
really hope her career just takes off. I will watch her in everything and
She
anything.
was Zendaya's sister in Euphoria.
Never watched it.
Don't.
Oh, okay. Um,
Um, she just cries in the background for most of it. Um,
okay.
yeah, but like this movie, like you are all the way in for.
Oh yeah.
Because what was that other movie? Because there was another movie. Please don't let it be called Searching. Okay, it's
Yes,
called
it is.
Searching. It's the one where, right, like a father's daughter goes missing,
I think this is
and
like an unofficial sequel to that one.
in the sense that like they were
It's like the same
inspired by it.
studio making it.
Okay, the same studio made it.
Like
Okay.
the same concept, yeah.
Well, I mean, God, that whole like staying on screen for a whole movie, I was hesitant to try it there, but it sounds like it worked here.
Yeah.
I've heard that like Modern Family did it really well
There
for an
was an episode
episode.
of Modern Family that did do it pretty well.
Um, yeah, I think so far the only really bad ones have been like the horror movies where like,
Yeah.
oh no, don't say the Zoom demon three times.
This one kind of has like a thriller aspect to it,
Yeah.
but it works.
So who's missing in this one?
The girl's mom goes on vacation with her new fiance, and then the mom goes missing.
All right, I'm in. There's some trickery about there.
There's some
I'm
oh, there's
fucking
trickery for sure. It's
yeah.
really good.
I'm
It's
get. I'm gonna watch that. That's a good idea.
I cannot wait for our February episode.
Oh yeah, I guess that's it. We're
Yeah,
done with
this is it.
January.
But our February episode is gonna go hard.
What do you mean?
There's just so much good stuff to talk about.
All right. We'll just have to see. I mean, February is a very, significant month for me.
Yeah.
It being my birth month. So
Congratulations.
I'm going into it with like very high expectations.
As you should.
Um, oh my God. Thank you for watching and
Thank you for
listening.
listening, watching, liking, and subscribing because we know you did, right?
Don't like ask them.
Is that gaslighting?
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, this is not a normal podcast and it's not a normal side of like you or me that
Yeah, I was
is
gonna say the
anywhere
energy was
else.
weird in this one, but we appreciate you for sticking around if you did.
Thanks for letting us be weird and
Yeah.
strange. Let us know if you watched anything that we recommended, especially Megan.
Yes.
Let's see some Megans in the comments.
Get Megan and Missing. Let's boost them.
I love that people in your theater were like, "Go Megan!"
Yeah, everyone was like clapping and cheering. We were having a good time.
God, that sounds awesome. All right, well, thank you guys for watching.
Thank you.
And do our classic sign off, Frank.
Bye bye, Mr. Movie. What's our classic sign off? We don't have a classic sign off.
We don't. I was like, you could have improv.
Why would you
anything.
put me on the spot like that? That's horrible.
You said
I look
Mr.
like a
Movie like
jackass
he's one
now in front of
guy.
all these people.
Who is Mr. Movie?
I don't know.
All right. Bye, everybody.